Okay, so I believe we can all see my screen. So I'm going to go into my RoyalQ app. Okay, so before I get into the explanation, I'm just going to pick a random coin uh, so I can explain. So this is the interface that I would like to explain. I like to explain what this particular interface are, the callbacks, the first buy, open position doubled, AI margin, and the rest, just basically this interface. So when I do my zones, I try not to talk about a lot of things at the same time so that we can catch up. So you notice that if you leave me, I will do all the whole I can do all the whole meaning and the whole section on this robot, but uh it's going to weigh a lot of people out. So I like to do my topics in bits. I like to do my sections in bits so that even if it's one or two things that you can understand one at a time is fine, instead of just bombarding everything at once. So the first thing on this interface here, when you click on manually create, so when we click on manually create, the first thing here is my template, choose a strategy mode, which I think I have explained. I can't remember whether it's my last two Zooms. I already explained this part. Where's my pen? I'm just going to try to highlight it so we know what I'm talking about. My template, choose a strategy settings. So this is the part where you click to load your settings. So I believe I have talked about this before. And now the next one is strategy mode. And this has three modes. It has the whole warehouse mode, the sub-bin mode, and the sub-bin mode real-time settlement. I think I'll be doing a topic on this on its own. So I'm not going to go into this mode. I think I'm going to just be doing a topic on its own some other time. So let's go into first buy. What's first buy? So this is the amount you want your robot to use to start the trade. This is the amount you want your robot to use to start the trade. Here you can see mine is 12 USDT, meaning once I do my settings and I click on activate, the robot is going to use $12 to start the trade. That's what it's saying. That's why it's called first buy. It's the amount you are using to enter the market first. The amount you are using to start the trade first. Now we'll go to the next one, which is called open position doubled. Now, this open position doubled. It enables you to double the first buy. So what this does is, if you on it, if you put it on and you start the trade, now in my own case, my first buy is $12. If I open my position doubled and I start the trade, it's going to buy $12 two times. It's going to double it. And that's going to be, it's going to be buying $24 because 12 times 2 is 24. Now this open position doubled is only for the first buy. It's not doubling any other thing. It doesn't affect your margin buys. It only affects your first buy. That's what this open position double does. Just your first buy. Your margin configuration, you have to set it to your desired taste. So it doesn't affect your margins, just your first buy. Now here, we have the AI margin call. This AI margin call is, if you put it on, it discards whatever you in your margin configuration. Whatever you set in your margin configuration. So for example, my margin drop here is 3.5 in this trade. I'm actually using the default RoyalQ settings. It's not like I set anything. This is just the default of RoyalQ. That's what I'm using to explain here. So the first drop here is 3.5, meaning you are telling the robot that if the coin that you're trading in drops by 3.5%, it should buy. But if your AI margin call is on, it discards it. Your AI margin call helps the robot to monitor the market to buy the best dip. So meaning that coin can dip by 3.5%, and you notice that your first call will not still buy yet. Why? Because your AI margin call button is on and is looking to buy the best dip. It's going to keep monitoring the market. Your robot is going to keep monitoring the market to see the best dip is going to buy. It's going to disregard your margin call settings entirely. So that's what your AI margin call is on. Most times, if you have small capital, that's when it's advisable to put it on. If you have small capital. And also, if you notice that the market is really falling, right? And you want, obviously, the robot to be able to monitor it and buy the deepest dip, you can put it on. But like I said, it discards whatever is, like whatever settings you put in your margins. It doesn't care about it. So that's what the AI margin call is for. Now, your margin call limit. This is the number of times you want your robot to buy for you. In this, my own case, you can see here is 7. And like I said, I'm using the default, the RoyalQ default to explain it. This is not a strategy I came up with. It's just the RoyalQ default settings. So margin call limit has to do with the times you want your robot to buy, the dollar cost average, times you want your robot to buy, the additional buys when that coin is going down. To further simplify it buys the dip. That's what the margin call limit is for. It's the number of times you want your robot to buy the dip. And you have to set it according to your capital. You don't just come here and just set 7. No, you have to follow it. You have to set it according to your capital. You're not coming here to just write 7. You're not just coming here to write 8 because you feel like, or 13. No. Follows your capital. The next one is whole position take profit ratio. Now, whole position take profit ratio, if you see a signal, is what is called take profit, or it can be called TP, is take profit. But on the robot, it's called whole position take profit ratio. This is the amount you want your robot to sell a particular trade. And this whole position take profit ratio goes with the final sell, your final sell, which is from your first buy, your first call, your second call, your third call, and your fourth call. So if your robot have bought up to the fourth call, so for example, let's say my robot has bought my first call, my second call, my third call, and my fourth call, right? What I will just be waiting for is for the coin to pump to 5%, because that's what I said, that's my take profit. So if you see that your return rate is plus 3% and it has not sold, you can't be asking, why have my trade not sold? Because, or I can't be asking, why is it that my trade has not sold? The coin has pumped 3% now and my trade has not sold. It's because my take profit is 5. It hasn't gotten to 5 yet. It's still in plus 3. So it has to get to plus 5 before there is any sell. And it's going to sell and close the trade. So like I said, the whole position take profit ratio controls your final sell. There's another take profit that controls the sell downtrend, but this one controls your final sell. That's what it's going to do. And then if you're in one shot, your robot is going to close the trade. If you are on circle trading, your robot is going to sell and buy the first buy and continue a new circle again. So that's that. Now the next one is whole position take profit callback. Now this is very, very important. It's a very important function of the robot. This determines how much the price. So let me just give a practical example of how whole position take profits callback works. Now let's read this first. The take profit callback setting for 1 to 4%. 1 to 4 positions. If it is set too low, it may be sold immediately and you can lose the opportunity to earn more income. If set too high, losses may occur. Please set the parameters according to your risk preference and strategy. Now let me explain. Again, this whole position take profit callback controls your final sell. It controls your first buy, your first call, your second call, your third call, and your fourth call. I just want to highlight something. So you see, no. So you see this one, it controls your final sell. This one too controls your final sell. I already said it, your whole position take profit ratio controls your final sell, your first buy, your first, second, and third. Also, your whole position take profit callback. It's the same thing, it controls your final sell. When the robot wants to take profit, the final take profit. So for example, if this is how the callback function works. You see this coin I set at 5%. For example, let's say that coin is really pumping very, very hard, right? The coin is pumping very hard. It touched 5%. And when it touched, because the callback function enable your robot to monitor the market. It's not the robot, when the robot gets to a certain amount that you set, it is not going to immediately just trigger and do that exact thing you ask it to do. So for 5%, immediately that coin pumps to 5%. Your robot is just immediately going to lock in your profit and close the trade. No. Once it touched that 5%, your robot keeps monitoring the market. And that's the callback function. The robot is going to keep monitoring the market. What is the market going to do next? Is it going to keep pumping? If that coin keeps pumping, your robot is still going to be monitoring the market to see if it can make you more profit. And then that's where your callback function triggers. Now, if you put your callback to be 0.1, once it touches 5% take profit, right? And you notice that this coin is not going up any further. This coin is now going down. It's going to sell at minus 0.1. The callback is going to trigger at minus 0.1%. So that's where you notice that if you set a coin for 5%, that coin is going to sell at 4-point-something%, or that coin is going to sell above 5%. So in another case, when he notices that that trade is going hard, is pumping very hard, once it gets to maybe 6%, it's still going hard, it gets to 7%. When there is a pullback of 0.1%, it will sell. So that's what is called callback. Once there is a callback of 0.1%, because I set mine at 0.1%. So 0.1% is very short. If I put 0.2, it's going to call back at 0.2 and it's going to sell. So if it touches 5%, it goes up further. Once there's a pullback of 0.1%, it's going to sell and close the trade. If it touches 5% and it doesn't go up further and it's going down, once there's a pullback of 0.1%, it's going to immediately trigger and then sell. So that's the work of callback. Callback actually is for your own gains. I've set a trade. This is personal experience. I know everybody have their different experiences. I've set a trade for 5% before, and I got 18%. Yes, that coin was pumping really, really, really hard. If that coin do like a spike, like a sharp pull up, a sharp pull, yes, you can take more profits. The robot is going to lock in more profits for you. So yes, there are multiple times. And the robot gave me more percentage. So that's the explanation of what whole position take can do. If you set 5%, you cannot get exactly 5%. Your callback function will have to come in. It's higher than 5% or lower than 5%. And that depends on your callback. That's why the robot is telling you, don't set it too high. Because if you set it too high, it's going to the callback is going to follow the callback. And it's going to give you, if you set it too high, it's going to give you lesser profits. where you instruct the robot how you want it to buy your first call, your second call, how you want it to buy the dip. And also the margin call drop is the same thing. Is instructing your robots at what percentage you want your robot to buy at a certain call. So for this one, the first call is 3.5%. So until that coin gets to 3.5%, that's when the robot is going to buy the first time. The second call is 4%. From where it bought at 3.5, if there's another drop of 4%, your robot is going to buy the second call. If you need more details about margin configuration, we've done several videos on that. Even on the YouTube, there's a short video that I did myself on margin configuration. Leader George has done also severally. So you can watch it. This particular today's Zoom is not really for explaining margin configuration. You can maybe do it again later, but if you need more details on how to set margins according to your capital, we have several videos on our YouTube channel recorded. So the next one is buy in callback. Please, if you have any question, you can use the chat. Once I'm done, I'm going to attend to it. So yeah, the next one is buy in callback. This is how you want your robot to buy. So I'm going to explain this callback. My callback, I don't usually put it at 5% because for me it's too high. So usually my callback, I usually set it at 0.1 or 0.2. So I'm going to explain this function for you. Now, let's say your robot wants to buy the first margin. Now, this callback has to do with your margin buy, your margin configuration buys, this table. That's what this callback has to do. It has to do with your margin configuration buys. Now, how this, I'm going to put it at 1 or 0.1. How this works is once your robot, if your robot wants to buy your margin, right? Now, let's assume it wants to buy my first margin call. And the robot, the coin drops by 3.5%. Your robot is not going to immediately buy at 3.5%. I want to explain the buying callback. Once that coin drops by 3.5%, your robot is not going to buy at exactly 3.5%. Once it touches 3.5, you will notice where your robot is going to say, call margin triggered. It's telling you that it has triggered, but I'm waiting for the callback to buy. Now, what is your callback? My own callback here in this case is 0.5. So let's assume that that coin has dropped by 3.5%. Once it dropped by 3.5%, my callback has to be in play. Now, if that coin rises a bit by 0.1%, that is when it buys my first call. I don't know if you get it. If the coin drops by 3.5, your robot is going to obviously tell you, I don't know if you've noticed it, you see it in your running trade, it will say something like trigger buy in callback. But it is not going to buy until this your buy in callback, this my 0.1 buy in callback is triggered. And that coin has to go up by 0.1%. Now, once it gets up by 0.1%, my robot buys my first call. So that is what is buying callback. Now, the next one is distributed and take profit allocation. This here controls the sell of your margins. Anything from the fifth call downwards. Yes, the fifth call. Remember that the fifth call, your sixth call, your seventh call downwards sell individually if you put it in sub-bin mode real-time settlement. If you put it in sub-bin mode real-time settlement or sub-bin mode, it sells individually. So for it to sell individually, it needs its own take profit. Because remember, I told you whole position take profit ratio controls your final sell. So what controls from the fifth call downwards is this distributed and take profit allocation. The default is 1.3. You can actually change it to your preference. You can say, oh, you know what, maybe 1.3 is too much. I just want to wait for 1%. I want my fifth call to sell at 1%. If the coin pumps by 1%, it should sell. Or you can still leave it. If you are good with 1.3, you can leave it at 1.3. But don't let it to be too, don't let it to be too big. Because remember that you have a final sell to do also. So it takes, if it's bigger, if this percentage here is bigger, it will take time for the coin to pump to get to your final sell and close that trade. So keep it as short as possible. You can do 1%, you can do 1.3. So like I said, this distributed and take profit allocation controls from your fifth call, your sixth call, your seventh call, your eighth call. Yes, they all have their individual take profits. And you can change them. You can say maybe your fifth call, you want to take 1%, your sixth call, you want to take 1.3%. Whatever, it's whatever you want. There are no rules to how you use your robot, actually. There are no rules. That's why if you need to know the basics so that you can use it to your own taste. So sub position take profit callback is still the same thing as the whole position take profit callback that I explained, but this particular one controls your margins from your fifth call downwards. That's what it controls. This here controls your margins from your fifth, your sixth, your seventh, and then your final buy, your final sell, or your first buy, your first call, your second call, third call, and fourth call. And what controls them is at the top. So I believe I've been able to explain what is going on here. Callback, buying callback, and the rest. So yeah, prevent buy if the list, make sure this is always on, so that when you unknowingly, though it has a tag, a delisted coin or coins that are to be delisted do have a tag, but if this is put on, if you unknowingly want to trade that particular coin, it wouldn't go. So that's just that's the brief explanation of what whole position take profit callback is, buying callback, sub position take profits callback. So yeah. So if you have any question, just ask, and then I'll attend to them. I'm just trying to look at the chat box. I don't know, today is for members I have a powerful guest in a meeting. Yeah, we can. I can still do a brief introduction. Oh, so sorry for that. It's always Tuesday. Is your guest still in the house? I can still do just a very brief introduction about what the business is. It's so painful. What's your name? Mr. Muritala, let me know if you have your guest still here, and then we'll just do a brief introduction. But our guest meeting is Tuesdays and Sundays. Okay, so please, if you have any question, you can use the reaction and unmute yourself and ask your question so that we can round up. Do you have any questions, please? So that we can take questions and round up. Any question? You can use the chat or use Binance is to list USDT in Europe. What should we do with trades in USDT not closed or more? Europe people. What's well, you can, I think if the trading pair, so for example, I believe that RoyalQ have been introducing a lot of USDT pair. I believe RoyalQ have been introducing not USDT, USDC. Yeah. RoyalQ have been introducing a lot of USDC pair. So I don't know, maybe we'll figure that out. But for right now, the only thing you can do is actually to convert. That's it. But maybe we'll figure something out. We'll probably figure something out. But that's it. You just convert. There's really nothing that we can do for Europe people. But maybe we can chat support. Support can do something in that regards. Well, let's see. Leader Tom Dio, I would figure something out and then I'll let you know. But for now, you just have to convert. But let's hear from support. Let's hear what they have to say. We'll chat RoyalQ support. We'll hear what they have to say, what they have for us. They might have, because when this delisting of a thing happened, we reach out to support and they were able to get a solution by migrating strategy, and that was a good one from them. So they introduced the migrate strategy. So maybe they can do something. The rate at which Binance delist these days is really alarming. Yeah, but this particular one really has nothing to. It's not really about Binance though. This one is not really about Binance. It's not just Binance. It's mostly all the exchange in Europe. Please, if you are not in Europe, there's no cause for alarm. You can continue using USDT. We continue to use USDT over here. It's just for the people in Europe. Okay, all right. Since we do not have any question, I'd like to invite Leader OBM. I don't know if Leader. The OBM is a V5. I believe that we all understand today's topic. Since we do not have any questions as regards today's topic. So I would like to call Leader OBM. The OBM is a V5 in RoyalQ, which is now called the team partner. So please, Leader OBM, you're welcome. And You can have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your time zone. My name is Phobia. Like, I think that based on justice for this topic, and you can see all the benefits in a box that costs you only $10 per month. And you can have the upside is you can actually do more, than the price. You understand? So I always marvel when people say this box is expensive. No, it's not
Sorry,
expensive, just $10 per month.
sorry,
Hello?
sorry, Daobian.
Yeah.
You are not audible.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, sorry, I was using my earpiece. Yeah. I
Okay.
said we can see all the benefits, that's in a bot that cost only $10 per month. And like I always say, the upside of this bot is it's so much that I always say this, that you can actually write whatever you want. You can actually do with it whichever way you want to do it. The only thing is, please, if you want to be an high flyer, you want to really maximize the opportunity with the bots, and you're not going to be looking at only yourself, you need to involve your team. You need to send as much people as possible, because the economy is not smiling. And the only way that anybody, that's an ordinary person that want to be an extraordinary person, is to edge your money using crypto. And what better way to really edge your money than to use a bot or RoyalQ? Now, I trade, everyone trades, and everyone, sometimes fall into what they call floating loss. But at that point that you are floating, somebody can come in and that person will make 10, 20, 30%. Now, while waiting for your your assets, to sell maybe at 10 or 20%, you're already making money, and you already have testimony of somebody coming in and making such, that will be about to increasing your own team. So the only thing I always say to people that always complain is that you are not creating enough solution to people. If you are creating enough solution to people, people are always people want it something like this, but most people don't really understand or don't really know where to go. But you have that solution in your hand, but you are not really maximizing it. The kind of potential that you have. Like somebody came to my inbox today. What he was saying was, I was just marvel. Okay, you say you have a bot, you've not you start with $100, you are in floating loss. Now you want me now to use your link to advertise. You understand? So, I was just marvel. I didn't really find out what to say, because most of us don't really know what we have. I started this in 2021. We started in 2021, and today you've seen what this bot has really done in life of most people. The only thing is, you have just to stick with it. You have to learn about this bot, and we have everything available for every one of us. Every day Zoom, the prospect meeting is there. The only thing is just invite people and stick with it. Now, in closing, there is one video I saw. Like people do all of these guys, looking for easy way out. There's nothing like easy way out actually in this world. Sometimes you like yesterday there was a lot of green in the market, and right there is red. That's how life is. Most people want easy, everything to come easy. No, sometimes it is hard. Sometimes you feel lost. But the thing is, this board has what I would call a buffer, you know. Like myself, sometimes I just use the default setting of the bot. Default setting actually is the best, you know, in this time because there are a lot of manipulation in the market, you know. So if you don't want your emotion to be, you know, anky-panky, and you don't have a lot of capital, just use default setting and you are good to go. Now, so that's my take for this evening. Like I will tell you, people, whether the market goes up or down, somebody like me, I make money every single day. Like in the group, you've seen screenshots flying here and there. So please, the only thing that can make you to lose is for you to give up. Always show up, always share the opportunity. And I will tell you, every single day, people are ready to get started, you know. So that's my sharing for this night. Leader Ashwari, you can take it away. So thank you for having us today and sharing with us your wealth of your big wealth of information, I would say. You know, so thank you, Leader Ashwari, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you so much, Leader Albion. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we have prospects Zoom meeting. Please let us invite our prospect 8:30 p.m. We have prospects. Please invite. It's very easy. It's really easy for you to bring someone to the Zoom because they will be able to get enough breakdown of what the business is, and also they can ask questions. Most people, they might feel like, oh, you're just lying to them. But when they see a group of people and then there's a presenter talking and then someone is sharing their testimony and they can ask questions and it's being attended to, it's better. And it takes away all this unnecessary talk, you know, it takes away the talk. You just do small briefing. That's all you need to do. But when you invite them to the Zoom meeting, we do all the talking for you. So thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you invite somebody tomorrow. Make sure you come with somebody tomorrow, at least one person. One person. We might be doing giveaway tomorrow. So make sure you come with somebody. We will be doing. I wanted to ask a question for a giveaway today, but let's leave it for tomorrow. So please invite come with at least one person tomorrow. Just come with at least one person. 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out, taking time. It's not easy, taking out time to come and learn. You know, it's very easy to say, oh, come to Zoom, come to Zoom, come to Zoom. Yeah, we know it's a lot of time, but it's for your own good. And if you miss the Zoom for anything, please and please and please, the recordings is very accessible to you. Just go to our YouTube channel and watch it. Sometimes too, not even sometimes. Even when you come to the Zoom meetings, you need to also refresh your memory and rewatch what is being said. So let us try as much as possible to be active for our business. Somebody's unmuted. So please, let's always show up for our business. If you are doing your team building, go hard, show up, post consistently, keep learning about the business. Markets will go down. Try as much as you can to buy the dip, because the dip is where money is being made. You can easily take 10%, 20%, even 50% when market drops. You can easily set a good amount of percentage. So please, let us stop being upset about the market being down. The market is going to do what it's going to do. Yesterday, it was amazing. Today, now it's down. And that's what the robot is about, you know, to buy your margins. It has amazing functions for you to be able to use your own favor. So make sure you know how to use the robot and use it to your advantage. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye.
Bye.